Greetings, loyal patrons, and welcome to another bonus video. Today I am doing an E-Rant on Supergirl Season 2. Now, I don't think the first season of Supergirl was bad in any way, not saying that. It had lots and lots and lots of potential, but this season, they improved a lot of things. And I think that moving the production from Los Angeles to Vancouver, where they shoot all the other DCW shows, was a good move for them to be closer to all the other productions and have their support and their resources at their disposal. Really worked in their favor, and it showed. It showed this season because, like I said, even though season 1 wasn't bad, they improved a lot. Which is saying something. For something to be good and still be able to improve, that's always a plus. I want to say this at the beginning of this video, just get it out of the way. I have absolutely nothing against Alex and Maggie having a relationship. Totally cool with it. In fact, I'm glad they took Maggie Sawyer to the next level because, as I've said in previous videos, Maggie Sawyer was the first animated character in a Saturday morning cartoon that was gay, that was a lesbian. And I'm glad that they've taken it to the next level and that they're actually showing her openly being gay and being in a relationship. But here was my issue with her and Alex. Is it just me, or were the two of them just ridiculously annoying? Just their relationship was just felt like it was getting in the way of the show. Like they would interrupt things to service their relationship, and it was just annoying and just really immature and really cutesy-wootsy, and not the kind of a relationship that two grown women would have, okay? This felt, as per usual, as a lot of things in the Supergirl show feel. It felt very high school, very silly. The number one thing being how she was afraid of coming out of the closet to her mom. Okay, I would understand this if Alex was in high school, okay? I would get it. She was in high school, she's experiencing these feelings for the first time. She really wants her mother's approval. She's afraid that her mom will disown her, throw her out of the house. I would totally get it, but she's a grown-ass woman. Not only that, but she's a really tough, badass woman who fights giant monsters and aliens all the time, and she's afraid of coming out of the closet to her mom? What? It just felt odd. Also, it would have made sense if her mom was uber conservative, like just really close-minded, old-fashioned person. But her mom totally isn't that character at all. Her mom took an alien from space, invited that alien to live in her house, and raised that alien like that alien was her own daughter, okay? It doesn't get more open-minded than that. So, accepting, her older daughter's homosexuality just doesn't seem like as big of a step. And again, this is just my opinion. The only moment that I liked between them was at the very, very end when Alex asked Maggie to marry her, and that's the most mature thing they did the whole season. Everything else, like I said, felt really odd and cutesy-wootsy and just out of place, and just, these two grown women pretending to be teenagers. It just felt odd. So anyway, there you go. That's my opinion on that. And so that's one of the few things about the season that I wasn't 100% keen on. But again, very, very small thing in the larger scheme of things. One thing that I noticed right away, as I've said in a lot of past videos, I've made the bold claim that I feel that Melissa Benoist is a far superior Superman than Henry Cavill. Like, she is the best Superman of this generation. And apparently this show fully agrees, as in the finale, as all of you might have seen, she beat the shit out of Superman. She completely, 100% defeated him. In fact, it was a huge, there was some huge misdirection there, because you guys remember that promotional image they released before that episode came out? Yeah, the very familiar looking promotional image. Yeah, I have a copy of Crisis on Infinite Earths number 7. Why? Because I'm a real DC fan, guys. I was there when this came out. Okay? My dad bought it for me. Anyway, yeah, they misdirection and everything, making you think that it was going to be that moment from that comic book, but It totally wasn't. She completely dominated, kicked ass, amazing fight scene, and she 100% showed, yeah, I'm better than this guy. Pretty much what I had boldly claimed, but they just 100%, stated it for everybody to see that this character was superior to Superman, which is nuts. But I can't say that I fully disagree. And on top of that, they kept covertly, quietly, subtly taking shots at the Man of Steel, or just the DCEU in general. During that fight, Superman was under the impression that he was fighting Zod, which is the climax of Man of Steel, and it blatantly shows you Supergirl handling the situation a lot better than he handled it in Man of Steel. And of course defeating Superman without destroying 3/4 of the city. And then on top of that, there's that moment at the end with Rhea, where Rhea starts bleeding and has kryptonite in her blood, and she openly invites Supergirl to make her bleed. Which was a huge catchphrase from Batman v Superman, do you bleed? And it's like, yeah, she bleeds and it makes her more powerful. So suck it. Anyway, so it just felt over and over again like they were taking shots at the DCEU. Or maybe that's just my apophenia acting up. But there you go. So, again, I don't have any personal problems with that, just observing. So this was the television season of the annoying characters. Almost all these shows had included a new, really annoying character. I was going to bring up Nate Haywood in my Legends of Tomorrow video, but that character grew on me. He was only annoying in the first few episodes that he was in, but then he slowly grew on me, and plus it made total sense for him to be there because he was a historian, they're time travelers, they need his help. This show, however, did not extend that kind of kindness to its viewers. The character of Mon-El was just horrifically annoying. Just annoying as hell. First things first, it was just a huge letdown that's what was in the pod at the end of the season. I was hoping for a more meaningful character, but instead we got this guy who was the most annoying, goofy dork of a boyfriend that one could ever ask for. And he just annoyed the crap out of me. Thankfully, he did serve a purpose in the story, so I'm not fully complaining, but my God, was he a pain in the asshole to put up with throughout the season. I was also very annoyed that they made Jimmy Olsen the Guardian, but could have been worse. But ultimately, I just feel that having another superhero on the show is just pointless, especially one without powers in a town that has Supergirl. Why would Batman operate in Metropolis when Superman's already there? He pretty much has it covered, dude. So that made no sense, and it was odd that they felt the need to make Jimmy a superhero, but whatever. Another thing that really did, honestly, truly annoy the crap out of me was how they kept coming up with excuses to not have Martian Manhunter be involved or use his powers. And sometimes the excuses were just garbage. Like that episode where that dude takes Alex hostage and Maggie and Supergirl are figuring all these clues as to where to find her. And they're like, Jean, why don't you just read that dude's mind? It's like, so something is blocking my telepathy. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Can you at least tell us what is blocking your telepathy? Why can't you read his mind? But no explanation. The episode where there was a white Martian loose in their base, all same thing. It's like bullshit reason for his powers not working. There was also a moment where they're going around and it's like, all right, just let me look around this corner. Supergirl has X-ray vision. She can see through all the walls and all the corners, all right? What the hell are you talking about? It's like they forget the character's powers without explanation. So that, again, bothered me. Sure, they make it up to you with really cool action, really cool character work, and in the very, very last episode, you see Martian Manhunter working together with Superman, which was really exciting for me, a little Justice League moment there. But yeah, that really annoyed the crap out of me. So, one thing that I've always said that I love about all these shows is the villain. This season was no exception. Rhea was a great villain, played by Terry Hatcher, who is best known for playing Lois Lane and Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman. She's always been a great actor as far as I was concerned. She was the star of Lois and Clark, and Dean Cain as Superman was her co-star. She's just great. She did a fantastic job. I love the idea of the mother-in-law turning into the supervillain, the mother-in-law supervillain. That, is hilarious in itself. That's almost a Joss Whedon move, to take something from real life and blow it up and turn it into something magnificent and fantastic and sci-fi within a genre show. So no, she was an excellent villain. I loved it. This was very much the girl power season. Love the idea of Linda Carter, Wonder Woman, being the president of the United States. That was awesome. The one female character that always gets on my nerves and that will never change is Cat Grant. When she showed up again, I was just, ugh, not her. And then she almost causes the president to be killed by just blabbing to an alien and a terrorist. And I'm like, why is this person being allowed to talk on behalf of the president? This makes no sense. But yeah. But she's such a unique character, and I know she's got a strong fan base, so again, I stand alone in my criticisms of her, but she gets on my friggin' nerves, and I often find myself puzzled as to why Supergirl listens to her so much, or desperately craves her approval so much, but again, that's just me. One actor that I feel was severely wasted was Sharon Leal as Miss Martian. What a perfect casting, and then on top of that, Sharon is such a magnificent performer. She is an actor, a dancer, and a magnificent singer, triple threat, and they cast her as this character and then just barely used her, and I just thought that was a complete waste. However, this is an ongoing series, so hopefully they'll rectify that in a future season, because I'm telling you, she is excellent, and I highly approve of the choice of her as Miss Martian. So I hope that she still comes back. One of the major questions, this season was whether Lena Luthor was on the up and up, whether she was truly Supergirl's friend or not, and a lot of people are on her side. A lot of people still think that she is lying because she's a Luthor, and I'm sorry, I still have as a long-term DC fan, I have a strong prejudice against the Luthors, and I think it's only a matter of time before Lena turns on Supergirl and puts on that Lexo suit and they duke it out. Which, by the way, Katie McGrath would look spectacular in that green armor. I'm just saying, she would. So I can't wait for that to happen. But I honestly feel that they'll eventually be enemies. However, if this is true, she is being honest. I love the idea that they started off as friends and then become enemies. That's cool. So, the big question at the end of the season was what was in the pod that escaped Krypton right along with Kara. I'm going to say Power Girl. I know that's what I said last season, but every season I'm going to say that every time they show a pod leaving Krypton or arriving on Earth, I'm going to say Power Girl. Now, they gave some very blatant clues. Not even clues, they blatantly told the audience what was in the pod. And what Superman storyline they will be referencing when that pod arrives, and that might be it. There might be no mystery to it, but I'm still sticking to my guess. I'm going to say Power Girl until Power Girl shows up, which would be awesome. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Supergirl Season 2. Good job all around. Like I said, incredibly, they turned in an even better season, even though the show was okay. I hope they keep improving and the corniness is less and less, and the good stuff and the good writing and good action and good characters get higher and higher. Speaking of good characters, I highly approve of the choice of Ian Gomez as Snapper Carr. Love his version of Snapper Carr. As most of you know, I hate Snapper Carr in the comics, cannot stand him. However, I love this Ed Asner version of Snapper Carr, who is Supergirl's boss. He is the perfect foil for her. Excellent idea. Their relationship is very much like Ed Asner's relationship with Mary Tyler Moore on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which was great. She's so fun and happy and bubbly, and he is just a grumpy, stubborn jerk. And I love that, and they both play those two archetypes, those two characters so well, so I would always look forward to their scenes, and his snarkiness and her, optimism combined was beautiful. So I look forward to seeing more of Ian on the show. Anyway, so there you go. Next week, my series of E-Rants continue with The Flash, Season 3.